Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. This is Big Chonis here. We're coming to you on February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. I wanted to check in on Bitcoin and friends and see if we can get a sense of what's going on here. There's some interesting indicators that I want to go over and talk about as we get very tight here in our continued consolidation pattern after our breakout we had almost a week ago and been ranging in this area ever since. Now, different altcoins are presenting different patterns in this consolidation. Some are more aggressive looking bull flags, some are more triangle, wedges. And then some don't even have those kind of patterns, more like a rollover pattern, like we're seeing currently in Litecoin here, basically flirting with that previous stop and reverse area as support. So I wanted to start with Bitcoin. Obviously, it's the one that we really need to focus on here because what it does next is going to determine, across the board what these altcoin setups, if they're going to see some favorable bullish expansion if Bitcoin can do the same. Now, a couple things here. Our volume remains, I call it consistent. It's not the greatest, not the worst, but it's definitely consistent here as we're chugging along here. On the 4 hour chart, and notably, I was awoken at like 4 a.m. this morning by a couple alerts going off, breaking through interesting areas of support that we were trying to hold in Bitcoin's price action. Now I'm going to move my current line of support, make that green here, down a little lower to this 35.35 area where we're currently finding that support. Notice that corresponds with the lower end of our $3,500 ranging area we had towards the end of January before that failed to hold support and we broke above, and now are back testing this area of one strong support, turn resistance, and now acting as support once again. I'm not going to call it strong yet because we really don't know how strong it is. Here it was tested numerous times and held until it didn't. This is only our first test of this current area as we've put in a lower low in our falling wedge still in our price action of Bitcoin. Now I'm calling this a wedge for now. It could be flagging, but I'm kind of keep with this wedge theory going on, and we can see how our wedge can actually take us through the end of the month, in theory, or at least another week potentially of this tightening range here of consolidation. Personally, I don't think we're going to have to wait that long. And there's a couple indicators I want to discuss that kind of gives me that sense. So before we get into that, I just want to go a brief overview of kind of where we are here. I want to start with my daily chart. It's going to hide all my little artwork here, and just so we can get a sense of what our candle structures are looking like. Over the past 3 days, we keep having these, I don't want to call them high wave, but we're definitely finding, we break low, we come back, we break high, we come back, and we're finding these wicks on the upper and the lower area as we're fighting. The bulls and bears are fighting for leverage, for dominance, to try and assert which one is stronger than the other. We see, as I mentioned, our volume's been pretty moderate here, even though these are red candle bars here. Higher than normal volume profile remains consistent. Now, as I mentioned, we are finding that current support on the lower end of our previous range, and it's kind of a must-hold area until we get potentially a little lower, because after this, failure to hold the 34.84, which was our top off here on February 2nd, before we went that next leg lower, is literally our last area of a support before we're like, oh, are we just going to give back this entire, green candle price action we had here on February 8th. So for now, this is a very important area to hold above 3,500. We do have one more area potentially to go down to and find that bounce support on 34.86 area here. We're still only talking about, $70, $80 in the price action of Bitcoin. Just a small little move there, but could mean so much to hold bullishly into these key areas here. Now, I do talk about my RSI, how important it is for me to keep above 50. We do see triple rejection here, here, and here has been main consistent. Every time we get up here on the RSI, they get their hand slapped and we lose that momentum push here. We are at 51 and just holding above 50 there. So that's good. And that's still a bullish sense I like to continue to hold until proven otherwise. I really don't want to get below our 50 area once again. Our daily stochastic here, now we are ranged completely to the top of our leading indicator. Our trailer never quite got that high. Let's make this red. And now we're kind of consolidating here. Now we're still at a bullish stance. This is not necessarily in the need of a reset in our stochastic here. We're still, in this 70, high 70s, 80 area with both of our indicators showing that there is still strength in this current market until proven otherwise. We see our MACD here, and the kind of profile we're looking for is to put in another hump of our histogram. We have that going higher here, coming back. We're trying to build another histogram mountain here. It's definitely taking some time. The last one did take some time before we really had that breakout. Notice we are flirting right there with our zero line of our leading indicator. MACD still spread out here, and our trailer is still a little bit of a ways to go. We have yet to get our trailing indicator above our zero line since September. And our leading indicator, we did have one pop above in January 9th before we came back down. So still a bullish histogram, although we are losing that momentum. Still bullishly anchored on our indicators, although we are still below our zero line, a line that has shown previous resistance time and time again when it is hit. Now, there's nothing good about this OBB oscillator. You talk about that move we had on January 8th, the push February 8th, the push higher here. We were able to begin to climb a mountain, and then we just fell through there. So we lost that momentum carrying us higher here. And this OBB oscillator telling me, the people aren't really holding Bitcoin right now. There's a lot of kind of on the side situationalism here. Now, this is my let me say it. TDIGM, and basically this is moving averages amongst a Bollinger Band. A couple things of note here. When our green gets a little too hyper extended above our upper Bollinger, we see here, we see here, we see here, it tends to get rejected and come back down. And these also tend to signify the tops. We have our red trailing indicator above currently our upper Bollinger. We see right there, barely. It's so rare to have our red above our upper Bollinger. In the past times it has been above. These have been widening expanses of our Bollinger. So, and whenever we do get up there, we tend to get rejected. So it's rare to see our red bullishly above our upper Bollinger here. And our Bollingers are very tight on this indicator here. So we still have running room in both directions. CMF, chalk and money flow. Once again, we're flirting with that zero line, kind of an area where you really want to hold. We did find support when it was back tested previously, and now we're basically ranging in that area once again. Failure to hold this area would be very bad because we get this bullish sense in the market coming into us when we are above this zero line. Failing to hold it once again would not be good. And then look at this is our on balance volume. This is coinciding with our OBB oscillator and how we're kind of on this double tap, almost putting in a lower low in our price action here with our on balance volume showing the weakness still in this bounce. We bounced, right? And we've given all of that back in terms of the coin held in our on balance volume. So even though we do have a slight higher high in our price action, we're putting in almost a equal high to a lower low in the OBV, and this is a bearish sign for me. You want to see the on balance volume rising when the price action is stable, and of course rising when the price action is higher. This is a big pullback here as people took a lot of coin off the table here. And the thing I really want to focus on is what's going on with our longs and our shorts. We have this decoupling once again where our longs are continuing to rise above 33,000 contracts, and our shorts, they've done it. They have touched our line of volatility. So I have this comparison chart here from Bitcoin's price action and what happens normally with our shorts. And so we have our April 11th top off here, May, April 11th, and we have our price action rising as our shorts dropped, because this was a bullish expansion here. Now we have our shorts getting to our bottom around May 14th or so, and coinciding with, oh, we're actually losing our bullish momentum here. Shorts are beginning to rise. Now they hit a stop here and then came all the way back down in the early part of August, and we see that coincides with this topping off area in our price action rejection. So shorts rose sharply after this bullish rejection in the end of July. We have another example early November where we were on the cusp beginning to break through that 6K area that has held our price action as so strong support. And once again, our shorts rose very high here with a very defined tweezer top around December, 7th or 8th, which was just a couple days before we actually had this very nice pop, obviously, in our price action. So where are we now? Once again, and I'm going to pull up the shorts chart, big, boom. There is our line of volatility. We hit it here, we hit it here, we hit it here. And now we're breaking through it. We are breaking through it. Now, when we have hit this line, we get bearish price action beginning in the price action of Bitcoin. This can go lower, but I'm just looking at this. I'm thinking to myself, wow, the shorts have so much running room right now, and the longs are kind of running out of running room, and that's how I see it. So let's take a look here. There we go. This is our shorts. Let's pull up our longs here, and Bitcoin, longs, and you see after, let's go to the daily here. We had a little pullback from yesterday's price action, the little shooting star here, but they're still climbing again. They want to climb high. So we have our longs racing higher, and also themselves getting close to this all-time high, not all-time high, but these areas where they get very frothy before they get slapped down. Here, here, here. And once again, we're getting close to this area where longs tend to get rejected. So we have our shorts getting very low. We have our longs continuing to range very high. And what is this catalyst that's going to really start to raise the shorts up? Is it going to be the next push in Bitcoin's price action, just go a little bit higher, and then the shorts really start to load up? Or will be bearish price action in Bitcoin saying, oh, we have rejected once again this line and we're going down because there's no buyers coming in after this last pump we had in our price action. So I'm very curious to see what happens with our shorts here as we are once again hitting and breaking through our line of volatility. Let's go back here to Bitcoin. And actually, let's go back to, here we go, our 4 charts here. And, I'm trying to find, because Litecoin clearly was the big winner the past couple of weeks and clearly was leading and trending the market higher. So we're looking for, is that kind of a flip? Was Litecoin the one that brought us higher? Is Ethereum going to now take that mantle of bullishness and basically pull the market up with it the way that Litecoin had been doing the past couple of weeks and had its biggest advance? Are one of the bigger advancers of these coins here. So we're watching Ethereum with a little bit stronger bullishness. Remember, the fork is still, once again, scheduled for 2 weeks from now. So we had a bullish narrative going up to it. kind of fizzled, and now we're going to see if there's once again this news driven event that's going to push Ethereum a little higher in its flag pattern here. Still, it's notable to see that this is a much stronger bullish looking flag here in ETH than what we're seeing in Bitcoin, big Bcash, and Litecoin as well. So let's go back to Bitcoin here. I've got a couple other things. Look at a couple counts here. I'm going to hide my artwork. Going to bring up my TD, and we're seeing because anything notable in our TD counts. So daily, we are on a red 3. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we got to get above 3650 to flip that from a red count to a green count. Our 2-day, remember our 2-day was bleeding combo 13 for 3 days and 3 2-day candles, so almost a week here before we had our nice move here. Here's our 4-day consolidation here, or sorry, our 4 candle 2-day consolidation. And note where our 9 found support right around 3,500. This is our trend line. This is our current 9 trend line support that we really want to see hold if it gets down there. Corresponding with these overall areas of support. The 3-day candle as well. We are still on a green count. We are still on a green 3. Excuse me. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have running room as long as we keep closing above the 3470s area, we're going to call it. Weekly, we are still in a green 2 pattern here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and as long as we continue to hold above 3536, or close above it on the weekly, and we're still halfway through our week, we can still continue this green pattern as well. And of course, we all remember our monthly, still in this red 7 with running room to go. Let's look at a little shorter term time frames and see if we can find any exhaustion. Now we do have a red 8 on our 12-hour, which is notable because this could potentially tell us of a selling exhaustion here after 8 TD candles in a row that have determined that we're getting closer to our 9 here, as well as our 6-hour. We're on a red 5, and it'll go as low as our 4-hour here. We're on a red 3. So our 12-hour is our closest time frame that is suggesting potential seller exhaustion, but all other time frames are still early to mid counts. So we'll keep an eye if we can get a 9 here with 6 hours to go. Be 1, 2, 3, 4. As long as we open below 3570, we will be in a 9 on the 12-hour. I haven't talked about my Ichimoku cloud in a while here, and there was a couple interesting developments on several time frames. Since I have my 12-hour up, I'll give it a start here. We see how consistent resistance, our 12-hour bottom cloud resistance continues to hold. Note how tight our cloud is. Remember, we were so wide here after being so bearish when we broke from 6K to 3K, tightened that sucker up quite a bit. Still no Kumo bullish twist here on the 12-hour. Also looking at our daily here, we have once again regained support of our Tenkan-sen, which can still take us a little bit lower, 35, 20 or so, and actually touch it to the T. Overall, we're seeing our cloud, we never got to it. I have a little redefined cloud setting, but we never got to this lower cloud resistance here on our daily. It's about as close as we got to it here, several $100s off. And once again, this is still around the $3,800 area. Now that does correspond, check this out here, with our upper resistance line that we hit 3 times here above 4K, and that fourth hit could be around $3,800, corresponding with our cloud on our daily as well as our resistance line that we're expecting, if we hit it, to continue to be very strong resistance as it was here, as it was here, and as it was here. Lower term time frame clouds were basically kind of in the middle here. We are in the cloud on the 6-hour, kind of going around here, and we do have a bullish Kumo twist happening very faintly later on in the next couple days here. We'll see if we can hold that. A little more defined one on the lower time frame 4-hour chart. And again, we see this confluence of support right around $3,500 area, failing to hold that. We have one more area to hold, a little bit above 3480 before, getting a little treacherous here. Now I want to hide my cloud. I want to bring up my Bollingers, and I just want to kind of finish this little show here on our Bollingers. We're very tight on our 4-hour. Notice we broke through it, found support once again, came back up, found that middle Bollinger 4-hour resistance holding. 6-hour lower Bollinger support holding, haven't even touched the middle guy yet. 12-hour still extremely tight, extremely wide. In our 4-hour Bollingers, look, we haven't even touched our middle BB yet, 3525 and rising. And our daily, we must be still very wide as well. So this move here in price action did very little to actually change any kind of direction or expand much our daily Bollingers. And because of that, still targeting middle Bollinger as support right under $3,500, okay, is a key area because we see how strong middle Bollinger resistance, and now we could be testing it as support if we get down there. Still a little bit of ways to go there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are in day 6.5 of a consolidation here, and the longer we go in this flag consolidation, the less I'm feeling that this is a bullish flag. We've seen several circumstances where we have this last little pop of gorgeous Bitcoin bullish price action, only to have that candle itself mark the top of that key area. So this is a better looking move just because the way we're consolidating, but we see what happens when we can just fall off a cliff very quickly here when the bulls capitulate because they feel that they're not going to be able to get above that resistance, as well as upper Bollinger resistance, here, here, and here continues to remain. So to sum everything up, a couple things I'll be watching for in today's price action, we can go back to our 4 chart here, is to see if we're getting any leading momentum coming from alts other than Bitcoin, showing that maybe, Ethereum or Litecoin finding that stability can potentially lead us a little higher. Our volume overall is still suspect, and the shorts having deleveraged to where they are while the longs are still rising is something that's telling me we're getting closer to a more volatile move in our price action here. Will it take a couple $100 move higher in Bitcoin to get those shorts to rise higher? Okay, and get those longs to basically say, okay, I'm done. Or are we going to have that bearish move in price action that's going to really induce those shorts, Bitcoin shorts, to load up? We're still watching these coins here to see if there's any kind of a bullish divergence that can kind of, take the market over. Overall, though, we're still seeing Bitcoin ranging. And of course, when Bitcoin is able to range, we have the potential for, bullish price action to continue in altcoins as they're using Bitcoin's relative stability to continue moving higher. So we have running room to 3,800. We have running room bearishly to at least our middle Bollinger. And then after that, we're talking about our lower line of our rising support here, 3,150, here, 3,350. And we can touch it once again, still around $3,400, still putting in a higher low on the bottom, but a lower high obviously on top, which is an area and consistently that just has not changed yet. I want to look at a couple more things. I'm going to wrap things up here. I want to bring up my triple MA indicators here, MA 50, 100, and 200. Now notice how strong MA 50 resistance continues to be. We were able to break above it after initially testing it here as resistance, broke through and got rejected. So MA 50 on the daily, very strong resistance. Now, if we can break it, look how close our MA 100 is. Little bit below 4,000 and right in that area, or a little bit above $3,800, where we could expect to see if we can get up there, that next major resistance level, potentially for Bitcoin's price action. Note the MA200 still way above 5,000 and continuing to fall. I do want to pull up my 4 hour chart here because, I like to also note where my 4 hour MA is. We have it as resistance, we have it as support, support, support. And we actually have this little bull cross going on right here over MA 50 going up into our MA 200 after rising through our MA 100 as well. So we have low term MA supports and we have little higher term range moving average resistance. Overall, and I keep stressing our volume here about, you know we I really want a better volume profile in what we're seeing here. And ever since, we've come all the way down, our volume was low, we had our booming volume which was bearish, we had our very gorgeous bullish volume of candles here, and then ever since then we just have lower highs, lower highs, our bullish moves, our bearish moves, still putting in lower volume profile as we're slowly, trickling sideways. So I'll be keeping an eye on this through the rest of the day. We know what our resistance lines are, we know what our support lines are, and kind of everything in between is just kind of noise until proven otherwise. I'm kind of keep an eye on my shorts here to see if they can rise once again, and what is that thing that's kind of induced them to rise. Will it be a little bit higher price action in Bitcoin, or will it be just the floor just completely cascading below and the shorts beginning to rise? Because right now they're not leveraged at all to make profit on a bearish Bitcoin. Longs are leveraged to make profit on a bullish Bitcoin, and normally the market doesn't allow that ease to make that money. That's why I'm still looking for an overall bearish scenario here until proven otherwise. We have consistent resistance areas with just a little bit higher to go. And we're talking about the necessity for any kind of a larger bullish momentum to really be achieved. We got to get above 4,000. We have to get above 4,000. We see where it is currently on our daily chart and how it corresponds with our MA100 line of resistance. We see our MA100 was hit here, hit here, hit here, hit here. Consistent MA100, can't get above it. Haven't been above it since August. Okay, so there's a narrative to get up to 3,800 or even 4K. But the higher we go, because of where the shorts are leveraged right now and how the longs are leveraged, it's like every step up is like more force that can potentially bring us down a lot quicker. It's going into real tight time frame price action here. Don't try and like, if you're gonna be long, be long, keep a stop loss, see how it goes. If you want to step away and just kind of be in the sidelines, there's nothing wrong with that. This is a very confusing confluence of price action right here in Bitcoin. Overall, this looks like it's bullish. We're flagging bullishly, but we're going so many days here on this consolidation here with our volume, remaining consistent, but we were really looking for that continuation of this move we had on February 8th to not be taken so long here. And this begins to put that doubt here in the market. Can one more dip allow us to rip? What's the catalyst that's going to allow us to basically move higher? We had so much sideways price action here all the way through the end of January, the first part of February, everything was tightening up. We were due for some volatility. We got the volatility. Remember, our volatility index was showing us that we were at the lower end of our volatility, looking to find daily here, looking to find when we touch this zone to get that volatility coming back in the market. We had it, and now we're once again slowing up our volatility. Keep an eye on this as well. If we get back into this purple zone here, which volatility can be induced, that could be a sign that our next pop, bullish or bearish, is incoming. So With that, it's Big Chonis here. Thank you guys for watching and following. Remember to give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this, and please reach out to me if you're interested in my online mentoring. I am signing up new students here for the rest of February, and hopefully we'll be doing so into March. Until then, it's Big Chonis. You guys stay safe. We'll talk to you soon. Peace out.